time to change the world.
Welcome. Is this thing working? Anyway, hello everybody. Welcome to the toss-up tournament pre-show featuring me, Isofreeze. Today we'll be going over how the tournament works and revealing the groups, and then you can finally start scheduling your matches. Also, sorry if the stream stutters at all, because apparently my internet is deciding to be crappy at the worst time. So, as if this stream wasn't already barely held together in the first place. Let's get started, shall we? Alright, so first, I'm just going to replay the video that explains how the tournament works, even though right afterward I'm going to be describing everything again. But I spent a lot of time on this video and I want to play it again, so enjoy. Super Mario World Toss-Up Tourney 2021. In this tournament, many categories will be played. Racers will choose a few categories to play each match, and they will be randomly picked at the time of the race. These are the 9 categories that are available to choose from: 96 exit, no Star World, all castles, all switches, 11 exit, no cape, no Star World, all castles, no cape, all switches, no cape, 11 exit, no cape. This is how each match will work. Each match will be a best of 3, win 2 races to win the match. As soon as the racers know who they will be running against, they will each pick 3 unique categories from the list and settle on a date and time to play. Which of these categories will be actually ran won't be determined until the time of the race. First, each racer will cancel one of the other racer's choices. This leaves 2 categories from each runner, or 4 in total. For the first race, one of these 4 categories will be chosen at random. For the second race, to keep it fair, one of the categories from the racer whose category wasn't chosen first will be picked at random. If a third race is needed, one of the remaining 2 categories will be chosen from at random. Here is how the tournament structure will work. There will initially be a group stage, then a bracket stage after, for those who pass the group stage. If there are any ties in the group stage, a single race of no Star World, all castles, or all switches, picked at random, will determine the tiebreak. Additionally, there will be 3 classes for racers to sign up for. Class A will be for more experienced runners, Class B will be for less experienced runners, and Class C will be for much lower experienced runners and those brand new to the game. Each class will be completely separate from the others, and each will have their own group stage and bracket stages. Racers can choose which class to sign up for, but the tournament organizers will have final discretion on class placement to prevent unfair matchups. This tournament will have some additional rules regarding forfeiting. A racer cannot forfeit a race if it is of a category that they chose until the other racer has finished or forfeited. Either racer can forfeit the entire match at any time, however. If a racer forfeits a race, they cannot continue playing or switch to practicing for the next race until the other racer is completed. If a racer forfeits a race, the other racer must finish to secure the win. In the case that both runners forfeit the race, the 4th remaining category will be played. Other information to know. A tournament referee must be present when the match is underway in order to assign categories and verify results. Make sure when scheduling that a referee will be able to show up. Be sure to plan for a long match time. 3 races back-to-back can be over 2 hours long, even much longer if 96 is a potential category to be played. If necessary, a match can be broken up and played over more than one session. Please be available to be able to schedule and respond to your opponent. The tournament has a Discord server you should be in to make contacting your opponent easier. Have fun racing and good luck. All right, and if anybody has any questions about how the tournament will be run throughout the entire pre-show here, feel free to ask in chat, and I will answer. We already got one. What if the wheel lands on a category that both runners picked? It just acts as usual. If both runners pick a category and it ends up being part of the pool, then it just happens that that category has a 50% chance of being picked first. If it does get picked, then only the runner who picked that, only that one gets removed from the wheel. During this video, you saw that they're color-coded pink and blue. Like, it actually depends on which 11 exit it lands on, because if runner A's 11 exit got picked, then runner B's 11 exit would still stay on the wheel, if that makes any sense. Right. Moving onward. So the whole idea of the tournament, the toss-up part of the tournament, is that you don't know what category you're going to be playing until right before you race. I think this is the first Super Mario World tournament we've had that you don't know what category you're playing beforehand. So this will be pretty interesting. We are limiting you to picking 9 categories, which are these are on the screen. Sorry, you can't pick Loner Dragon or One Yup. If we allowed for every single category, there would just be way too much variation because this game has a billion categories. We aren't expecting everybody to know how to play every single category. So you're limited to these 9. You pick 3 of the 9. They have to be unique. You can't pick the same category twice. However, both runners can pick the same category. So it's possible that a category can show up twice only because each runner picked it once. And then after each runner picks 3 categories, then you get to cancel one of the other person's choices. And that's just so that we don't get too much of unfairness of people getting to play categories that they're not super familiar with. And what this allows you to do is guarantee that you will never play at least one of these categories, because you just never pick it yourself and you always cancel it if your opponent picks it. I know a few people are going to be doing this a lot to, say, 96 exit. It's the only really long category on here. I myself will be doing it for All Castles No Cape. I'm not playing that piece of crap. So if you're practicing for this tournament, you can pick one of these categories to just not pay attention to at all, and you'll still be good. And then after the runners have picked the categories themselves, then those are picked completely randomly right before the race, so you don't even know what you're playing. Again, I know this was just explained in the video, but I'll go over it again in more detail. There are 3 classes in the tournament: the A class, the B class, C class. These are completely mutually exclusive. There's no crossing between them. Each class will have a group stage and a bracket stage. Potentially, at the end of the tournament, we might have the winner of each class play in a race. Depends on if people want that or not. It's not planned, but maybe we'll have that just for fun. Is there still room for the tournament? Unfortunately not. Signups have closed and all the groups have been picked. Alright, yeah, so first there's a group stage. That's what's going to be revealed soon at the end of this presentation. And then the bracket stage will be afterwards. The top 2 runners from each group are going to be the ones that advance to the bracket stage. There will be a reseeding of people going from the group stage to the bracket stage. However, I'm not going to say what that is. One, because we don't even know what the reseeding is going to be yet. But 2, even if we did, there's a potential that what we go by can be cheesed. And so kind of don't want people to be able to cheese the reseeding. So we won't tell you what the reseeding is anyway. There will be a reseeding depending on your performance in the group stage. So here's how the matches are going to work. This is how like a standard tournament best of 3 scheduling goes on. First, you find your opponent. You figure out who you're playing, either at the start of the tournament or at the bracket stage once you know who you're going to be playing. Then there's a period of time before you schedule your match. And then when that date and time comes, then you play your game. Easy enough. However, this tournament has a few more extra like events that need to go on, and it's important to know when these happen. So the first thing is, when do you pick the categories? And each runner needs to pick what 3 categories they're going to want to play before they schedule the match. We're going to have a calendar that has everybody's match times so that you can see when a match is. And that calendar will also list the 3 categories that each runner picked. So you'll need to pick your categories before scheduling your match. However, you don't need to cancel the other person's category until race time. This you can kind of like keep it a secret until right beforehand. And that way you don't know what your opponent is going to cancel. So you might be practicing for a category that isn't going to show up at all. You can say which one you're going to cancel beforehand, but you don't have to say it until right before your match. And then what category actually gets picked is going to be determined like as late as possible, right before the race. Probably like while both runners are on the title screen ready to go. You won't know what category you're playing until the wheel is spun, and then you start. So that's when everything is going to happen. I should take a picture of this and post it in Discord because this is a good reference, just to know when everything is going to happen. So as far as scheduling a match, we have the Discord server. Every runner should be in the Discord server because that was one of the required checkboxes in the sign-up form. So I know everybody's in the server. We will have, shortly after the community race, we will have Discord text channels set up, one for every single matchup. So you will be able to have a special spot to contact your opponent and schedule when your race is and pick categories and everything. It's a good idea to use the Discord server to schedule your match because that way the tournament organizers can see who is on the ball in terms of scheduling. That way, if somebody doesn't show up or is struggling to communicate with your opponent, that we can see exactly who isn't scheduling their match. If that's done in like DMs or anything, there's not really anything we can do to know who's not scheduling. And if that's the case, if somebody doesn't show up, we can forfeit them. But that can only happen if we actually know who's the one not scheduling. That's why it's good to use the Discord server. And then as for the calendar, we're going to be using the team up calendar that we used for tournaments in the past years. You'll be able to post your own time to the tournament if you want, or you can just ping a tournament volunteer, referee, or organizer, anybody, and we can put it on the calendar for you. The good thing about the Team Up calendar is that it automatically adjusts for your time zone, so you don't have to worry about the time zone differences and everything, because there will be a lot of that. So, what are the 9 categories that you can pick from? The first 2 are 11 exit and 11 exit no cape. These 2 categories are going to be no orb or cloud, no major glitches by default. If the 2 runners decide that they want to allow orb or cloud, then that's fine, but they both have to agree to that. If only one person wants to use orb and the other person doesn't, then it's just no major glitches. Stair clip is allowed, zips are allowed, door fly is allowed, but orb and cloud are not. These are the 2 shortest categories out of the entire group of categories. Then there's all castles and all castles no cape. All castles is pretty popular. One of the recommended categories for new players to run. And then there's all castles no cape, which is a pretty difficult run. I would call it the most difficult category out of all these for how short it is. 96 exit's probably the most difficult, but that's just because it's really long. All castles no cape is very technical, has a lot of dumb tricks on it that if you go for them and you miss them, you lose a lot of time. Then we have everybody's least favorite, no Star World. A very simple category, you just fly over the whole game and you win. And then no cape, no Star World, which you just take that really boring category and you remove cape, and then it's not so bad. And then my personal favorite, all switches, and it's no cape variant. These are shorter length categories than the game completion category. But the fun part about these is that the orb is allowed by default. Both runners have to agree to not do orb for these runs to be non-orb. Otherwise, if only one person doesn't want to do orb and one does, then the race will have orbs allowed. And that's just because that's how all switches category is on the leaderboard by default for both the cape and no cape variations. And then finally 96 exit. I can't say everybody's favorite because I know a lot of people don't like it, but it's also the longest category on here by far, and so if this category ends up being chosen, then the whole match is like twice as long. Anyway, those are the categories. We're moving on to the class and group reveal. First, some notes. Everybody did a very good job of picking a class. I know a lot of people were concerned about not picking the right class for themselves when they were signing up. But everybody did a really good job about that. The only problem is that we ended up really lopsided against the top runners, and not so many new runners decided to join. So we did end up having to filter people down a little bit. Please don't take offense if you got moved down for a class, because it's not because you're bad at the game. It's just that we had really lopsided signups, and we didn't want Class C to be the smallest tournament known to man. So we had to move people down a bit. But we did get 49 entrants, which is a pretty decent amount for a tournament. It's going to be like, it's going to seem like there's fewer people just because we broke it up into 3 different classes, but pretty good turnout, especially since Super Mario World isn't super hot at the moment. So I'm happy with the turnout there. The groups are going to end up with 3 or 4 people per group, and the top 2 from each group will move to the bracket stage. As we'll see later on, Class B and C only has groups of 3, and then Class A has groups of 3 or 4. So because Class A has the most runners, like a fewer percentage of them will be able to move to the bracket stage, which I think is going to make it really interesting, because at the higher levels, it's easier, like it's not as easy to know who's going to win. So it's very possible for some upsets here in Class A. And then one thing I wanted to show, even though this is completely, like, it doesn't matter, I made this fancy graph and I just wanted to show it off because it's so pretty. So I made this spreadsheet a long time ago for the No Cape No Star World tournament to help with seeding. And what the spreadsheet does, you put in everybody's personal bests for all the categories and you weight them from, like, what's the most important for this tournament, what's the least important. And then it automatically spits out the optimal seeding for the tournament. And this is what it would show up as if this tournament was just one giant bracket and there were no groups or anything. This is what I kind of use to help gauge who needs to be moved down to the lower groups, to the lower classes. For this spreadsheet, the categories were weighted just on their length. So 96 exit got the highest weighting because it's the longest. It got, I think, was 1.3 times the weight. All castles and No Star World got 1.2 times. All switches 1.1 times, and then 11 exit was just normal weighting. And so you can see how everybody's personal bests and which you can kind of tell who's, like, what category somebody is the best at by which category is highest on their list here. Pretty fancy. But as you can see from the groups, the A and B's and the parentheses, it's not like a clear-cut line. If you were on the edge, because there were a lot of people on the edge between A and B, just like we said, it's up to you, and you got to choose if you wanted to try to play tough with the big boys or settle in the group in Class B. So mainly left that alone. It was more towards Class C that we had to filter people down. Anyway, I'm talking too much. Let's move on. So for Class A, there are 7 groups, and each group had 3 or 4 players, and so we will go ahead and reveal those now. Group A, or Group 1, is Louis, Dr. Rokon, and Kiji. Group 2, Osui, Thug, and Cap. Group 3 is Umar, Schwartz, and Hami. Those are the 3 groups with only 3 players each, so only one person will be left behind because 2 move on. The rest of the groups have 4, so 2 move on and 2 were left behind. Group 4 is Lost Core, Pesu, Alogical, and Arclark. Group 5, Sten, Fitz, Dabs, and Linestoners. Group 6, Seathorn, Mostly, Storster, and Superior Stone. And finally, Group 7, Brams, myself, Shady, and P is Good. So those are the groups for Class A. Moving on to Class B. We've got 4 groups, and they each have 3 runners each. So Group 1 will be Furo Furo, Miso Soup, and Masachan. Group 2 is TM, Vert, and Dunkel. Group 3, Xander, Fog Dude, and Jer Gamer. And Group 4 is Yao, Peachy, and Mike. So again, 2 people move on, only 1 person falls behind. It'll be really interesting because since there's only groups of 3, there's only 3 matches. And so every match will count. Unlike the when you have groups of 4, you can generally move on with only 2 out of 3 wins. But for groups of 3, you basically have to win both. However, there's also the possibility that each player wins 1 match, in which there will just have to be a giant tiebreak. Anyway, finally, Class C. Again, 4 groups, 3 people each. So Group 1 is Kiwi, Sebi, and Sonic Rojas. Group 2, BRT, Mingura, and Mikri. Group 3, Dejako, Miku, and TJ Crunchy. And finally, Group 4, Desert Eagle, MGL, and this channel name is bad. All right. So at this time, I would like to open the floor to any questions you may have. This presentation is a mix of super formal and super informal. Let's see. And if you have any questions afterward, feel free to post in the Discord server for the tournament, and we will try to answer it as quickly as possible. What category is the community race tonight? That is a great question that I will answer as soon as I make sure that there's no other questions, because that's the segue into the next section. Don't tell anyone until everyone's on file select. I'm not going to be that cruel. How do you join the community race? I'll be opening up a race time race room, and if you want to join, you can join. You don't have to stream. If you do stream, there's a possibility that you'll get restreamed on this stream. The first round is a race between all the group members at once. Not all at the same time. So, say there's a group with 3 people in it. Runner A, B, and C. Runner A needs to schedule a match at some point with runners B and C. Runner B has to schedule their match with runner A and also one with runner C, and runner C has their match with A and B. So there's 3 matches total, and those just get scheduled whenever. The group stage, we haven't figured out an exact deadline for when the group stage will end, but we're figuring it's going to be around 3 weeks long. I guess that was a good thing to mention here. I didn't even say that. Yeah, the group stage is going to be about 3 weeks long. It might be a little longer. It depends on how quickly people are able to schedule their matches. But at least 3 weeks. So that gives you about 1 week per match on average. And then once the bracket stage starts, we'll have deadlines for each round. If you have the... Does the race time plugin come with LiveSplit now? I think LiveSplit has race time integration now. So if you right click and go to race time races, it should show up once it's there. I haven't made the room yet, so it won't show up. Does someone stream all the matches, including the group stage? It would be nice if all of the matches were restreamed, but it just depends on the availability of restreamers, if somebody is available to do that. I think the past tournaments we've gotten like 95% of matches restreamed, which is pretty cool. So oh yeah, you will probably need a race time account to join a race. Although if you don't have an account and you can't figure out how to get it, I don't know. I'm so used to racing, like to create an account being such a process, because Speedruns Live was annoying to make an account with. But Race Time's pretty good about that. I think you should be able to make an account pretty easily. And if you can't figure it out, you can always just visit the race room and see the timer and just start at the same time. Race time is easy. That's good to know. Great. So, if you don't have a race time account, you'll need to make one. What category? Okay. As long as there's no other questions about the tournament, we can move on to the community race. What category are we playing? Drum roll, please. Could have timed the drum roll better, but whatever. All switches. All right. Actually, you know what? Now that it's been chosen, let me put a picture. That way, remember what it is. Beautiful. I didn't rig it, I swear. You saw the wheel, it was random. Alright, now that means I need to go make the race time. Well, somebody's got to make all switches as an actual category here, that way it can be recorded. Alright, so the race room is now open on race time, and you can join through live split, or you can just open a browser window if you don't want to do it through live split, or if you use a different timer. Speedy Star, that's a good race name. So if you would like to be restreamed, then you can go ahead and stream your race, and we'll have it on live stream for our commentary. And so I guess we'll give everybody a few moments to set up streams and join the race and everything. I believe we're going to be having Carrick on commentary for this restream. So get hyped for the best S&W commentator around. But I'll go ahead and step off for a little bit. I gotta set up my own stream and set up the restream and everything. So thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for having me. And good luck in the race.
It'd be so funny if, like, they picked it random and they pick a Ricky to just glass on. What do you know?
That lion in the background. The lion's just saying something super
Welcome everybody. Not a lot of people could be familiar with. So, just to go over the rules real quick, all they need to do is just activate all of the 4 Switch Palaces. They're not going to be going for Bowser. They're not going to be saving Princess Peach. We don't have time for that. Please, it's Friday night. So we're going to be doing all switches. It is a perfect race category. I love this because it's mid-tier. It's a little above 20 minutes or so, you know, something short and sweet. It's definitely a perfect category to kick this tournament off. We're going to go ahead and give these runners the green flag, and we'll be kicking off any moment now. All right, I've given them the green lights. We're going to be kicking it off any moment now, so go ahead and throw out some good luck for these runners because this is going to be a really fun one. It's been a while since we've gotten together and had a toss-up tournament. Is going to be just a great way for everyone to get back together and get into this game, especially with summer coming up. Oh, to have so many choices of categories. All right, so checking it out here, we have Xander on the left-hand side. He is currently 4th place in all switches. He has a 2250 that he got about 5 months ago, so he should be still pretty fresh. On the right-hand side, we have Arcalark, who is 13th place currently with a 23. He got about 8 months ago. So we're going to see how this race goes. I think this is a really good matchup. I think we're going to be able to see some really cool stuff. This is going to be a category that allows orbs. Now, orb is a glitch that you're going to see done in Yoshi's Island 1. These runners are going to actually go backwards so that they can go forwards faster. That'll make sense later. But you'll see Xander and Arcalark are now going backwards to Yoshi's Island 1. And that's because they can pull off this glitch called the orb glitch in here. They need to do 2 things. They need to make sure they are Fire Mario. So you saw both of them grab a flower at the very beginning of the level. Now what they need to do is trick Yoshi into eating an enemy that typically could not be eaten in this game. And that's a chuck, specifically a clapping chuck for an orb. So watch Xander collect this coin as Yoshi eats the coin, warping that clapping chuck that would have been near the exit straight into Yoshi's mouth. Arcalark getting the orb too. That clapping chuck that's by the end is gone. Where did it go? It warped into Yoshi's mouth as Mario grabbed the coin at the same time that Yoshi grabbed the coin with his tongue, forcing Yoshi to eat the clapping chuck. That makes the game go all sorts of crazy, and it looks outside of what it normally looks at for power-ups. And the clapping chuck is way out in orb land. And so it's going to stick a nice little, if you see a glitched sprite up in the item box of both of these runners, that's going to be an orb when they pop it out. We got our first switch from Xander right there, but we got ourselves a yump from Arcalark. That is a one-frame trick where Mario is technically standing on the floor when he hits the top of a switch. So you can hit jump on that one frame, that one single frame, and send Mario flying up in the air as that text box pulls up. Do yumps make any difference in the context of a speed run? No. Are they really cool and we're gonna judge you if you don't get them? Yes, of course. You have to get the yumps. Check out this Yoshi's Island here. They're going through with Yoshi's, which is atypical for like 99% of the categories you would do in this game. So it's kind of weird for runners to adjust to. Both of them getting a 258. Both of them looking pretty good. They're staying nice and tight. We're out of the first world even though. So we got 3 more switches to get, and that's going to take us all across this land. It's a nice little water level where they just need to make sure that they stay on the platforms. They're not going to be spitting that shell until like the very end if they want to, but because it's going to create so many sprites on the screen. Like, this is already a laggy level. You don't need to add to it, all right? The pasta, you don't need to go peppering it up with some fireballs. Here in Iggy's castle. Oh, Xander dropped the orb and grabbed it after just showing us a info box real quick. Arcalark doing it much faster, getting that 298. We are going to put that in Xander's highlight reel. Now, what are they doing? They're going back. You know what they're doing. Don't act like you don't. They're going... You saw how crazy that was in Iggy's castle when they grabbed that glitched orb that they had saved in their item box the whole time. The castle just ended. And that's exactly what that glitched orb does. It will end whatever level they use it on. And there's quite a few that are longer than they are worth going through. So you're going to see them going for orbs. Now, you are guaranteed an orb. Getting an orb is hard work. Xander getting his second orb. Arcalark getting his second orb. There is a chance the game will crash and you have to restart. Fortunately, they just came from a Switch castle, so they got the save dialogue. But I mean, it's treacherous. All switches is going to be a monster in this tournament. So all of y'all that think you're gonna be getting away, being all sneaky, banning 96, cause I don't want to do special, blah, blah, blah. Now, all switches is gonna take you. We're gonna see so many crashes during this. It's gonna be, I think that's amazing. You can't have a tournament full of a category where it's gonna crash, but if you just kind of pepper it in here and there, we're gonna see some really interesting stuff during this tournament. Their orb there. Because Donut Plains 2 is awful, but they gotta go back because there's a green switch that comes out of there, so they need to go through a little secret exit, and that's gonna go ahead and unlock the Switch Palace for them. All right, Xander's got himself a cape. Arcalark going without. We got a stylistic difference here between the runners. Now, fortunately, where they need to go is coming up soon. No one likes dealing with an auto-scroller, alright? That's why you orb out of there. Oh, Xander better find his way into that pipe. Oh, he came so close to not getting up there. That's gonna let Arcalark kind of catch up a bit. Let's see, we got a fade out at 44 on Xander. 45, 46-ish on Arcalark. There's a little bit of delay between the two runners right now if you look at their timers. I mean, they're actually like a second apart right now. Xander, not giving me a yump again. Arcalark, what you got for me, man? Whew. Whew. Can I refund this run? You gotta give me the green switch palace jump. That's the best one. So now you can see these runners go back for another orb. You notice it keeps cycling those power-ups. They're keeping that fire is very important in this category, and it kind of leads to some interesting. Xander going for his third. He crashed the game. Better restart because Arcalark got his orb and he has taken the lead. He is moving on past the green switch. Xander needs to go all the way back. He needs to grab himself a Yoshi. He needs the whole kit and caboodle. Arcalark's all the way up at Donut Ghost House. We got some more orbs though, so who knows how this could close up. This category giveth and taketh. Alright, Xander's grabbing the flower so he can go ahead and pull off the orb glitch soon. Arcalark going into Donut Plains 3 with the Yoshi was just odd. Like not odd that he's doing it. It's just like an awkward, I don't like this level with the Yoshi. Donut Plains 3 with a fire flower or just no cape is crazy. It's insane. But then once you get a Yoshi and through it, it's just disrespectful if you ask me. Xander's making his way through the ghost house. Watch this cool little bounce he does off the booze here. Gets his way up to the door so he can get out of that level. Always love that little strat there. Arcalark hitting him a pipe there. Got himself a blue shell, so he's going to be flying through. Both runners just flying through with their Yoshi. Neither of them can have a cape because they got the orb and they want to keep the fire flower. So at the end of the day, you got to let go of the cape, right? Doesn't matter because they got so many blue shells to deal with it. They're still flying through the level. Arcalark's reaching a portion where that Yoshi's not going to really be able to help him, and that's Morton's Castle. So let's see how he's able to do this. This is whoa! How did he do that? Just like Iggy's Castle and Donut Plains 2 that we saw earlier. He just dropped himself an orb while going up. Skipped that castle entirely because castles take so long. Xander's gonna take a death in Donut Plains 4. Grabbing himself a cape in Donut Plains 3, which was only available because he got that green switch earlier. Right? That's another thing about this category that things open up that's really interesting routing wise. Green blocks, which give you capes. But you don't want too many capes because you need to cycle between fire flowers and orbs in your item box. So it's a really fun category. Figuring all that out on the fly when things kind of start going haywire, you know. Arcalark getting another orb. He has not crashed once. He's looking real solid. All right, Xander is making it to Morton's castle. Arcalark grabbing himself a feather in Donut Plains 3. He's going to be moving on to Vanilla Dome. We'll have these technical difficulties sorted out shortly. Don't worry about it. We still got Arcalark here. Now watch what he's going to be doing here. He's going to duplicate a block up into the dragon coin, then collect the top half of that coin, creating an invisible block. If he dupes that invisible block to the right, he unlocks Yoshi wings that will complete the level. He's glitching in an exit to this level right now. He's grabbed himself the wings with a 358. And he's out of there with a new upgraded blue Yoshi. All right, we're back with Xander in Morton's castle right now. He's going to be going up small, bouncing off those dry bones. He didn't have the orb like Arcalark did to just kind of get through the castle, so he's going to be going through it naturally. It's really scary small. Oh, and that's why that dude, that section, that small Mario, it'll chew you up. It'll chew you up. Xander's got himself a cape now. I know he's going to feel way more comfortable in Morton's castle. So hopefully it goes good, as Arcalark is going to be taking a little secret exit here in Vanilla Dome 2. Almost taking damage on that fish. Good recognizing he wasn't going to be able to do it and just kind of bailed out of that second fish right there. Arcalark's got himself in the red switch. He's had one yump. Can he give me another? Oof. Oof. I'm not full yet. I'm not full yet. I've only gotten one yump out of these boys.
I wish they had you on the restream, man. That kid got banned, but
Arcalark back in Vanilla Dome 1. Sans Yoshi. He's not going to be getting himself any wings to get out of here this time. Instead, he's going to be flying on up now that he's got those red blocks. He's going to use that key to move on to a secret portion of this world. This level that Arcalark's on has super cool like cape mechanics. Oh my goodness, getting through those Koopas was wild. How do you still have a cape? Which means you still have your orb. Man, that was crazy. That's another thing about this. You can't take damage here and there in all switches. Chances are you have an orb in that item box. If you take damage, it drops. And now all your plans are messed up. Alright, so now we got Arcalark just kind of casually flying through. Xander's gonna grab himself another orb. Didn't crash. He was super low on the ground by the time he got that orb in the box. Xander going ahead and being more comfortable with small Mario. He wants to trade out that flower for a feather, and you got to do it by taking fall damage, because you can't take actual damage because the orb will drop. Do you understand what I'm saying when I mean that this category brings in interesting routing? Are you starting to see the full picture here? This category is devastating. I'm so excited we have it in a tournament because I think it's just gonna bring a lot of drama. Those are some spicy wings, Xander. Get out of here. 375. Those are some spicy wings. We got Arcalark going through Vanilla Fortress right now. He's gonna be seeing Reznor here pretty soon. We got Xander trying to clip in. Watch him closely. He just pulled that Yoshi into the wall. Screw going through the level like Arcalark did. Xander's going to clip into that secret exit. Whoo! Was super dope. After coming off of 375 wings to do a clip like that and get out of there, Xander's about to on Arcalark. He's had some slip-ups, but Xander's looking spicy now. He's warmed up. But is it going to be enough to catch up to Arcalark? That's the question. We have 3 out of the 4 switches done for both runners. They're rushing for the blue switch. They're going to find that in the Forest of Illusion, which Arcalark's going to get to if he can just reach that castle on the other side of the bridge. Nice flight from Xander, getting that red block thing. Not wasting any time goofing around. Kerfuffling with some vines. Arcalark. Didn't time grabbing his orb correctly. And taking a death. So the level he's supposed to skip, he now gets to showcase the most fantastic, the most impressive, the most wonderful level that has ever been created. Butterbridge 1, I've missed you so. At least he's got some red blocks to hang out at with those Koopas there. How much you want to bet he's going to die to those Koopas, though? All right, he got out of there. I was looking at him way down on those red blocks, feeling a little worried for him. Yeah, you really have to time when you grab that orb in this level. You can't do it too late. I mean, you're gonna fall. You have very little time on that platform before you have a minute and a half in heaven. I mean, this is honestly fantastic. I'm pretty envious of Arcalark getting to play Butterbridge 1. I'd probably be doing that if I wasn't stuck here doing this, you know? All right, we've got Arcalark leaving Butterbridge 1 while Xander goes into the fortress. If Xander keeps his orb in the item box and uses it in Butterbridge 1 successfully, I mean, that's a minute and a half time save against Arcalark right there. He's going to be taking a big bite out of that lead he has. Xander getting past that thwomp there, still in his way, while Arcalark makes his way into Ludwig's castle. Check out how intense this is. And all switches, all you runners who like switching over to Fireflower in room 2, which, by the way, don't. That's silly. Grow up, keep cape. You're forced to in all switches, pretty much. You don't have a fire. Oh, and it can lead to things like that. Unless you're super careful, you can take damage. Arcalark almost dying to that Podoboo coming down. My blood pressure's raising. Ugh. Xander grabbing that orb. Let's see if he stays alive. I think he'll be fine. All right, we come back to Arclark in the boss room. He needs to rely on a cycle skip here. Let's see if he can hit Ludwig before he touches the ground. Very nice. That's going to go ahead and skip an entire little cycle where he goes across the floor in a shell. Shaves a lot of time off on that fight. What you would prefer to have is a fire flower to like 2 fireballs and a jump. But you got the cape when you go into Ludwig. You know, you don't get to pick everything in life, all right? Make the best with what you got. So let's see how Xander's Ludwig goes. Remember, Arclark lost cape in room 2. Xander's trying to catch up. If he keeps this cape, I mean, you know, who knows what's in store for him. We also got FOI 1 and Yoshi clips. I mean, Arclark has a strong lead, but Yoshi clips are king. Now, a lot of it was going to be based on how comfortable Arclark is as Small Mario. Going in FOI 1, he looks chill as a cucumber. He looks like he is not fretting at all. So I'm not worried about him getting through this level. He knows exactly what he's doing. Beautiful. Beautiful. 250 going in Small Mario, coming out cape to Yoshi. Beautiful. You better hope Forest of Illusion 2 is that nice to you, bud. We're coming to a close here. The blue switch is on the other side of Forest of Illusion 2. So Arclark needs to make this next little glitch happen. Watch Yoshi here. He's going to go up into the ceiling and dismount. And then, ooh, your time's running low. Nope, nope. Things are going off. Things are going off kilter. Arclark can still get it, though. He needs to just pull Yoshi into that wall. Clip with Yoshi. Oh! He's going for a paw, a left-handed one. Not getting that. Even if he does everything right, there's a 25% chance of it just not happening. But let me tell you, things are kind of going crazy right now. Getting that is very good. Very good for him, because Xander is coming up on him. He's in Forest of Illusion 1, coming in hot. Arclark is all but sealed this fate, though. He's got the clip. He's going through. He just needs to swim through. All right, we have Arclark going into the final blue switch. This is where the run ends. As soon as he just hits the switch, this category ends. That's what's fun about this. This is one of those weird little off categories. Not getting the yump, but ending the run with a 26-29. Give it up for Arclark. Want to give a big shout out to our first place in the community run, Mr. Shady Force himself. He got a first place with a 26-10. Arclark got second place. Arclark got his 26-30, coming in just under Shady Force. So we're going to be switching on over to Limestoners on the right-hand side, as Xander's going to be closing up, going into the blue switch right now. Ooh, nice little flight, Xander. Ooh, Xander. Say what you want about his run, and trust me, I got a lot to say about his run. But ending it on a hot little jump like that, flying through the hallway, I can't fault that. I cannot fault that. That was a great way to end that run right there, coming in with a 27:30. All right, and let's give it up for Limestoners. We see in the switch place right now. Let's see if he can get ourselves a yump. No, sir, but he's going to go ahead and finish that up with a 28:07. So GG's to him. You know, we love having these community races before a tournament starts. Gets everyone, you know, kind of ready and roaring to go. You guys are going to be able to start doing your match signups almost immediately. Check out the Discord and look for your channels that are specific to your matchups in your group. Make sure to reach out to any organizers if you need any help. We are always willing to help. And this is going to be a great tourney. It's been so long since I've seen people race all switches. And the fact that I get just a good smattering that will probably guarantee some all switches is going to be really exciting. Figure out your favorite categories. Figure out the categories you hate the most. And I'm going to be super happy to watch y'all be forced to run both of those. So I think that's going to do it over here. If anything else needs to be said, I'm going to be throwing things back over to ISO Freeze to close everything up for y'all. GG's to all of our runners for today.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in to the pre-show race. Just like Carrick said, if you ever need any help, don't know what you're doing, or your opponent doesn't show up, or you want to help out with restreaming or commentary, or just helping out with refereeing and stuff, just give a shout out. Poke any of the tournament organizers in the Discord server, and we'll be happy to offer our services. The race channels that Carrick was talking about will be available shortly. I have to set those up. Should be there within an hour, and then you can go ahead and start scheduling your matches with your opponents. Yeah, thank you for tuning in, and good luck to everybody in the tournament. Have a wonderful evening.